tell me, where were you on Friday when the storm hit? Were you at home or where were you?
I was at home, right up there in the front where the curtains are blowing out. We never did find our blinds. The blinds were up there. And I heard on television, on KMOV, that the storm was getting really bad and that the winds were circling and that they had not had any reports of a tornado, but that the conditions was of the sort. So I said, oh, then I better go plug my phone up so that I can have my phone at 100%, just in case something crazy, and this is what I said, something crazy goes on. That's what I said in my head. And so I did plug it up, and I went about doing household stuff. And then I heard the man on television, the weatherman, say the storm is now in University City, is on Olive, and O'Bonham is on Olive and Price Road or something. He said, I said, holy, I better get my purse. I better get my phone and get my purse and get downstairs in the basement. And I got the phone, no problem, and I couldn't find my purse. Meanwhile, I put the phone down on the dresser, and it went off. The alarm went off. That means it's close by. And I'm thinking, I don't hear any sirens. So is it real or not? You know, it's just a bad storm. I said, I'm not taking a chance. I'm going to go. And my husband called, said, are you headed to the basement? I said, yes, I am. And I said, I was just looking for her. He said, go to the basement. Don't worry about your purse. Go to the basement. So I said, okay. I went down to bed, and I've got a right knee that I have surgery on. So I used my cane, and then I backed down the steps so I could keep my right leg straight. I did that going down. Meanwhile, I realized, I said, oh my Lord, is that a tornado I'm hearing? Because it was like, it was coming from this way. At least it sounded like it was coming this way. Or maybe possibly this way. I really wasn't sure. But that made me go even faster past the living room, which is this room that you see right there. Next to the living room is the dining room. And to my right is our bathroom on the first floor, which is just a half bath. And just as I got to the bathroom, I heard boom, and then glass, and the house started that is a brick house. It was shaking like it was a box. And I couldn't get the kitchen door open so I could get to the steps. And finally, I just snatched it. I mean, normally you just turn the handle gently and pull it out. It's never stuck. Never stuck. When I got the door open, I don't know if I closed the door or not. I have no idea. I don't remember. But I do remember I put my cane down so I could back down. I couldn't do the cane because the cane wouldn't be steady. So I just flipped the strap on my wrist, and I grabbed this side of the wall of the basement, this side, and I walked the basement wall. The house was shaking tremendously. I just walked, and my head just, get to the basement, get to the basement, get to the basement. And I got to the basement, and I said, between the washer and the dryer, get between the, and I said, oh, I gotta have something for my head. So I grabbed up, we store our coolers. I didn't even snatch the cover off. I just took the top cooler, and I made the top come off of it. I stooped down. God was with me. I don't remember my knee hurting. I stooped down as far as I could. Now, I know I wasn't real close to the floor, but I put that cooler on top of the washer dryer, and the basement was not shaking. I could hear the noise, bang, crash, bang, bang. It was horrible. I mean, it's like no sound of things falling I had ever experienced. The basement was pitch black, dark. We've got windows in our basement. We can see in there even if you don't turn the basement lights on. Stuff is falling in my face and my hair. So I said, let me just call Mel so he'll know where I am. I can find him. He's over there in the shop. The shop is a big box. And I was a teacher. I am still a teacher as far as I'm concerned. And I know from from physics that a big open box and tornadoes is disaster. So I was concerned about him, and I pushed the button, and in the process of finally getting him, everything got real quiet. A few things were still falling, but that shaking, because the shaking was also making a noise, that all stopped. Everything stopped. The dust began to clear in the basement. And he picked up and he said, "Where are you?" And I told him where I was. And I said, "I'm going to come out. This is quiet. I think I'm seeing sunlight come through the windows." I said, "But it's so much dust." And I'm coughing and talking to him at the same time. And he said, "No, don't come down. I'm still hearing things falling. You stay where you are." I mean, he's not a dictatorial person. That is not with me. And but he said, "You stay there until it completely stops. Don't come down." So I said, "Okay, I'm not going to come anywhere."